Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to teach you how to draw a ribbon using 2 pencils. We're also going to work on shading, creating a piece that has an interesting composition, is balanced, and has rhythm and movement. To start, you will need 2 pencils and some drawing paper. I find that it's best when the pencils are nice and sharp, and they're also about the same length. Take both pencils and you're going to hold them in your dominant hand, so whatever hand you draw with. You want to think of the pencils like they're a pair of chopsticks. The distance that's between the pencils is going to determine how thick or how thin your ribbon is. So if you want a wider ribbon, you're going to move the pencils further apart from one another. If you want a more narrow ribbon, you're going to bring them closer together. I think a good width to start with is about your pencils an inch apart. All right, here comes the fun part. You're going to want to do a couple of practice runs before you do your good copy. So get yourself a piece of paper that you can do some testers on. Press both pencils down onto the paper at the same time, and you're going to almost imagine it like you're taking those pencils for a kind of like a dance across the page. The wavy, loopy, or curvy line that you create will become your ribbon. As you're drawing, you can also try and imagine the natural curl and flow of a ribbon, and that might help guide you in the drawing process. But be sure to keep both pencils pressed down on the paper. Each pencil is essentially creating the side of the ribbon. All right, now pay close attention because this next part is a little tricky. Wherever the ribbons twist, form a loop, or crisscross, you're going to have to do a little adjusting. You have to add something I call a connector line. So you'll see here in the video, I'm going through and adding a little arrow pointing to each place I need to add a connector line. Right in that spot where the ribbon kind of creates an X, I'm going to add a soft line just to bridge the gap between the 2 lines. Doing this will make the ribbon look more realistic in the end. The next thing I have to do is go back in and erase one of those little lines that were part of the X. So it just looks like the body of the ribbon and those crisscrossy lines are kind of gone. Hopefully that all made sense. If it's still a little bit unclear, you can always pause the video, rewind, and watch the section on the connector lines once again. Now let's take a look at any place the ribbon crosses on top of one another. You have to decide what part of the ribbon is going to look like it's in front of the other part. So the part that you want to look like it's behind, you're going to erase those 2 lines of that section of the ribbon. You can also make it look like the ribbon is going through each other, but I demonstrate that later on in the video. And for the final touches, we have to figure out the ends. So there are a number of different ways you can approach doing the end of the ribbon. Here I'm going to show you 3 different ways that you can finish the ends. So you can do a flip, a clip, or a curl. So to do the flip, I'm drawing a straight line that connects the 2 sides of the ribbon together, and then bring another little line up and across to make it look like that ribbon is kind of flipped up and right on itself. To do the clip, I'm just extending each of those lines down, and then you can kind of do a little V to make it look like a scissors has kind of clipped it. And then for the curl, I'm going to take that top line and I'm going to bring it up and around and create a little spirally line. I'm going to adjust the bottom and seal it over and erase any extra line that I have, and that makes it look like it's a more natural curve. And then from the top of that curvy line, I'm going to draw a straight line over to the ribbon, and on each of the curves, I'm drawing a straight line over. And there you go, you have a flip, a clip, and a curl option for finishing the ribbon's ends. Do a little practice and try all 3. So once you get the hang of it, you can draw all kinds of things using the ribbon technique. You can try words and letters. You can see here I did the word joy. So watch now as I adjust the ribbon in all the same ways that I taught you earlier on in the video, adding my connector lines where the ribbon crisscrosses on itself, deciding which part of the ribbon goes in front and which part goes behind, and then finishing my ends. You can also create recognizable imagery and symbols with the ribbon. So here I'm going to do like a Christmas tree or an evergreen tree. So I start by giving myself a framework to work inside of. I drew a triangle on my white drawing paper, and so this is how big I want my ribbon tree to be in the end. Now I have to decide how thick my ribbon is going to be. So since I'm working in a small space, I'm going to do a thin ribbon. I start at the top of the triangle and then go back and forth in between that triangle and work all the way down, and then it will give me the shape of the evergreen tree. As always, I need to close over my ends. So here I am adding my connector lines to all of the bends of the ribbon. Now I'm going to go back in and erase the lines that I don't need, as well as the framework that I worked inside of, because in the end, I don't really want that on my drawing paper. I just want that cool Christmas tree shape. So here I outlined that tree in a Sharpie so it's nice and bold and you can see what it looks like. Now that we know the basic principles of how to create a ribbon drawing, let's kick it up a notch and try 2 ribbons that are intersecting and twisting together while creating a composition that has balance and movement. Okay, here we go. Let's start by just doing a couple practice intersecting ribbons.